This is an excerpt called Angel's Wings by D.M. Larson. I look down on the world below and dream. Dream of mortal things. Things I left behind and miss. Most of all, I miss you. I watch, hoping to catch a glimpse of you, and dream of the love we had together. I still feel your touch and the softness of your kiss, your gentle kiss, softer than angel's wings. Is it wrong to love so much? Is it wrong to miss you? To want to be with you more than eternity? I would give up eternity to be with you. I would strip away my immortality to have another lifetime with you. Will my eternal soul be damned in your embrace? But how can the devil delight in something so wonderful as our love? How can a love so good be bad? Welcome, beloved listeners, to this special Valentine's episode of The Wandering Crow. This is your disclaimer. This is not your typical Valentine's special. The following episode contains terrible, tragic stories and some sexually explicit content. So, listen on at your own risk. And if you do, enjoy. There is a medicine story that tells of Crow's fascination with her own shadow. She kept looking at it, pecking at it until her shadow woke up and became alive. Then Crow's shadow ate her. Crow is dead Crow now. Join us as we attempt to look through the wandering crow's eye to find the gateway to the supernatural, to seek to know the unknowable mysteries of creation. Welcome to the Wandering Crow podcast. Hello, wanderers and murderers. It's Mandy, and joining me today in the studio are our co-hosts Abby and JT. Say hello, everyone.
How are you doing?
Hello. Are we not doing our
Hello.
It's Abby?
No, we're not. I guess not.
I don't know.
It's fine. She can introduce us.
It's fine. Going with it.
Well, I realized that we didn't for Betsy Saga Part 1, and I just went and copied and pasted from other episodes.
It's all basically the same. Maybe we can switch it up from time to time.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, dear listeners, you may notice that there's only 3 of us today. Our brother Cameron is MIA, and I do wonder if perhaps, very appropriately for this episode, he has lost all sense of time and responsibility in the throes of his new lady love. What do you think, guys?
That's a possibility.
Totally.
I think he might be.
Yeah. Good guess.
Also, yeah. Also in honor of also in honor of Valentine's Day, I would just like to let the rest of you know that the first words out of JT's mouth to me when we came on pre-recording were to tell me about how he spent his Sunday. JT, do you want to share with the world? Or shall I?
I want to hear it.
Go ahead.
Apparently, he spent almost the whole day lovemaking with his delightful wife. And then, in spite of the fact that they had homework that they were supposed to do today, that's what they did. And so when I tried to yell at his wife, she just turned it around on me and made me laugh my ass off. And I wish I could share with you some of the text messages she sent me.
It was a very stimulating day.
Yeah.
Well, JT and Rachel really do love each other. So I just thought,
True.
That's very appropriate for the Valentine season. So
That's a good point.
Hey, well, by now, I have celebrated 20 years with my husband.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah. January 28th, we went to a Slightly Stupid concert together. The first time we ever hung out together, and the rest was history.
Wow.
Oh my God. It is crazy how time flies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure is.
Holy shit. How many Valentines have you and Rachel had together, JT?
Our first one was in 1995. So what is that? 32 years?
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, this year is our 30th anniversary. In July, it'll be 30 years.
That's inspiring.
There she goes, turning it around. I like
Nice.
that. That was really nicely done, Abby. We should have the clapping. The joke continues, everyone. My husband and I this will be our 13th Valentine's together. So, yeah.
Nice.
Some solid relationships here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so listeners, Valentine's Day. I have actually a Greek tragedy that I'll be sharing as my Valentine's story. You guys, what kinds of, are any of them happy, or are they all pretty much terrible and scary?
Hey.
No, they're pretty much along the
Am I
same
muted
lines.
Abby?
I have some history to share, and we're gonna have some time, I guess, since we're missing a host. So I do have some other stories that I can share that I found in that, Costco Norse mythology book that are cool.
Exciting. Okay.
But hold on, before we get too deep into it, I want to do this with you guys real quick.
North Lanarkshire.
Together.
North Lanarkshire.
Okay. North
Lanarkshire.
Lanarkshire. North
North
Lanarkshire.
Lanarkshire.
North Lanarkshire.
Lanarkshire. That's
Do-
there we go. That's for our Lanarkshire.
Lanarkshire.
North Lanarkshire.
North Lanarkshire.
Are we still
North
messing it up?
Lanarkshire.
That's in the UK.
We might be. Yeah, somewhere in the UK.
You want to know what? Google provides an American way to say it, and they say Lanarkshire.
Ugh. What?
And then they also provide a UK way, which sounds like the way this YouTube pronunciation it has shaken down. So I think we'll trust that one.
Didn't you do one that was like kind of a Scottish lean?
I
Lanarkshire.
had some. Did you want to hear those?
Partnership in North Lanarkshire.
I
North
should have
Lanarkshire.
edited this. It's so quiet.
North Lanarkshire.
Partnership
Oh.
in North Lanarkshire.
North Lanarkshire.
Oh,
Partnership in North Lanarkshire.
I'm going to be going there in September.
No way!
Yeah, it's right between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Oh my goodness.
North Lanarkshire.
Maybe.
Lanarkshire.
I mean, do we feel
Lanarkshire? Like,
coffee meet and greet with our Lanarkshire
Our listener out there.
listeners?
Well, you got
Yeah, maybe
listener,
so.
Lanarkshire listener. Tell us, where should JT visit?
I'm going to be in
Oh.
Largs. I'm going to be staying in Largs,
So if
which
you
is on the
got
West
a
Coast.
place that JT should take recordings of and do like a little mini investigation,
Yes.
you tell us, please, Lanarkshire listener.
I am researching
Lanarkshire.
fishing
I think there's more
expeditions
than
on
one, you
Loch Ness,
guys.
so
Yeah, I think there's like
I
at least a
wanna-
couple.
I want to get a sighting of a real cryptid here.
Yeah. What is out there?
The Loch Ness Monster.
Well, right, but like I didn't know how close it was to the loch. I didn't.
Oh, well, Loch
And I
Ness
didn't
is
know
in
there were other
Scotland. I mean,
cryptids.
it's,
Okay. All right. Well,
well,
there we
the
go, being a
cryptid
dumb
Loch. I mean,
American.
Nessie. That's what I want to find. I want to see. I want to like.
are there?
Become
I was
a-
just wondering if there were other cryptids too. Like.
Oh,
out
I
there.
I haven't researched.
I believe there is supposed to be a colony of werewolves somewhere in the UK, and there's been a lot of stuff that was actually recommended to me by a friend that we investigate the werewolf stories, like modern werewolf encounters, apparently, and somewhere in the UK. Well, before we get too crazy, I just want to take this minute and stop. It's time for social media.
If you are a big fan, which we know you are because you're listening, don't forget to subscribe, download the episodes, comment, and leave a review. Please give us a 5-star rating. If you have a story you want to share, you can reach out to us in many ways. We have social media, we have an email address, and all the links are available in our show notes.
Thank you for that, JT. And now, back to the show.
All right, let's go into some history. I'm excited.
I think all three of us did do a little bit of digging into the history, but Abby, we kind of put her in charge of this section.
Yeah.
So, Abby, take it
We're
away.
going to go way, way back, people. Way, way back. Back to the
beginning?
legend of Romulus and Remus,
Ooh.
the twin founders of Rome, in order to bolster up this story, dating back to 771 BC, allegedly. They were born via Rhea Silvia She was a virgin vestal, I believe I'm saying the word correctly, vestal virgin, which meant that essentially she was a nun of sorts. You know, we want to liken her to being a nun. She dedicated her life and her chastity to one of the deities that they celebrated at the time. And she became pregnant. And her claim was that the god Mars raped her. And she bore these children, these two boys, twins. And the emperor, of course, felt threatened by the potential power that these twin boys could have and had her cast them away. Now, I don't know what happened to her. I didn't look into it. But what I did learn was that the Vestrals who didn't maintain their chastity were usually executed. I do know that she took the babies and she, set them free. You have to assume at the age that they were that she knew that they might die, but legend has it that they were raised by a mother she-wolf in a cave, the Lupercal cave, and there is still a lot of famous priceless artistic imagery all throughout Rome depicting these two twin infants or toddlers suckling at the teats of a she-wolf. Anyway, fast forward, some guy finds them and they end up being raised in the town like normal kids. And eventually, though, they they established the city of Rome. And so they go down in history, revered and venerated as the founders of Rome. At some point, one of them kills the other. I don't know, but they basically get celebrated like gods for forevermore. So fast forward to...
I just love how randomly, one of them kills the other, but that's not super germane to the story. So moving along.
Yeah, moving along. It's love. It's Valentine's Day. We're going to glaze right past the fratricide. So as of 494 CE, Lupercalia, the pagan celebration of springtime and fertility, is the primary 3-day festival that is celebrated in Rome, in Roman culture. And this is really cute. So what we have here, so Lupercalia, okay, not only do the reason why I brought up Romulus and Remus is because they're a part of this whole celebration. Lupercalia is named so after the god Lupercus. So you've got the god Faunus and Lupercus, who are the gods of agriculture and fertility, respectively. And so they are part of the celebration for these 3 days, February 13th through the 15th. I did read that in some cultures, it wasn't necessarily like a very specific date like that actually they would pay attention to when the birds were breeding. And that was when they would have their springtime celebration.
Oh.
But as I understand it, specifically in Rome, it was February 13th through the 15th. They would celebrate this Lupercalia 3-day feast and festival, venerating the gods Faunus and Lupercus of agriculture and fertility, and Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome. What they would do is the Luperci, aka the priests of the god Lupercus, they would go to the Lupercal cave where Romulus and Remus legendarily suckled at their mama wolf's teat, and they would sacrifice a goat. 2 male goats, I read in one source, somehow represented fertility, which I thought was silly because wouldn't it be a male and a female to represent fertility? But whatever. 2 males, we're going to go with that. 2 male goats and 1 dog, the dog representing purity because I think I skipped it, but one of these gods was considered supposedly a shepherd. So you've got the sheep are breeding, and the dog, it represents purity because the dogs are shepherding the sheep. So they would sacrifice a dog and 2 sheep The Lupercalia would smear the blood of these sacrifices across their heads, and then you would use the hides of these animals, and the single young women of the city, of the village and surrounding areas, would line up to get whipped by these hides of their sacrificial animals. And this was thought to bring them fertility.
JG's face. This is my favorite part of the legend.
Isn't that cute?
The
Virgins
source
being
that I
whipped.
have, yeah,
Gently,
Well,
gently whipped.
the source that I have says that the priests would run around naked.
Yes. Oh, I missed that.
With these things.
Well, the men, yeah. So drunk
Yeah.
and naked men.
Whipping single
going around.
ladies.
With whips, being, and the ladies being like,
Yeah,
"You got me."
I love it. Being a
He
part
got
of
me.
it. Totally into it.
Were the ladies naked too? Was it just a
crazy.
big naked like?
No, I don't think. Well,
Yes,
at some
or-
point,
no,
probably.
it's not mentioned, but maybe.
From what I understand of Rome at the time, sexuality was really highly celebrated. There were some like faux pas, but generally speaking, it was pretty fluid. They didn't have words in their language for homosexuality or other such things that Christianity or the coming religions may put boundaries on or frown upon. But they did have like a whole host of deities that were involved in the entire process of having sex and making babies. Like one god helped you get aroused, one god would like help you actually penetrate, one god would help the woman orgasm, one god would like help you ejaculate, one god would help you what's the word, fertilize, inseminate.
Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever.
Well,
so every single step of the way there was a different deity.
I'm ready.
think
I'm ready to convert. And
We need to do some research.
Run
I'm
around
very
naked.
interested in learning about the god who helped with female orgasms.
Right? Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
should
need
have
more
written
of
it
that.
down.
I want to know that too.
I should have written it down.
He's got to have some magical powers or something.
I definitely
Not that I'm personally having any problems with that, but more ladies should have the gift of yeah. Let's talk to that god. Let's bring him back.
Anything,
Or her.
Anything
I don't know.
to increase the pleasure is great.
That's pleasurable.
You get it, guys?
This
You
whole
get it,
story is
listeners?
very enthralling.
Instead of interesting.
Oh,
my
I did
God.
not send myself
ridiculous.
the link for that, but I probably have it in one of my many like 30 open pages that I can look into in a minute. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, also that just leaves it open for you to look into, Mandy, and find us the more specifics about that. It'll be a
Gotta
big
find
surprise.
that god. That's a very important one.
So you've got this 3-day feast. It also included, they would put all of the names of the men and the women in a little basket, and they would draw names and be coupled up over these 3-day periods. Sometimes it actually led to partnerships that stuck, and sometimes they decided they didn't really like each other, and after that 3-day celebration they were done with each other. But that was how they spent the weekend. They would celebrate with this person whose name they drew from the basket. And then there was also the sacrificing of the animals and the blood and the naked, drunken, like fanciful frolicking throughout the city, and the whipping the women with the hides. And the emperor, now this is Pope Gelasius the First. Is that right? I probably didn't write that down because I'm so bad at the details. I like just getting to the generalities.
Me too. Who cares about details?
So
I mean,
approximately,
I'm down with the celebration. Let's do some stuff. I mean, other than killing a goat, I don't really want to kill a goat,
right,
but
yeah,
I will create a whip and run around naked whipping girls. I don't care.
Do you know what we could do? Let's get some like pomegranate syrup. It's red, and smear that around.
There
Get
you
a
go.
little naked,
Yeah.
a little bit of some whips,
Yeah,
a
I'm
little
down.
bit of laughing,
Let's
and
do
some
it.
booze.
We can
I
have
think
some
good
fun.
things would happen.
We
Just
can have some fun.
Oh, I don't know
My
how
wife
to
would
go
be
about
down
it.
with a celebration too.
Oh, that's
She would-
awesome. Okay, so What was I gonna say? Okay, so
this is going to be the best episode. I can already tell. This is so fun already. It's just the topic. Like, who knew this was associated with Valentine's?
Who knew?
Continue, Abby. I'm
Who
sorry.
knew?
Go on.
So somewhere around 3rd century, there actually were 2 Saint Valentines, and in the Rome-ish area, and they were like famous for their own things, each one having something to do with love. There's a few different versions of the stories that go around. One of them was that basically the emperor was building an army, and all the young men had to build his army. But one way for them to get out of it was if they were married, and they had like that tether, that responsibility. Like they needed to stay back with their wives and have children and be a present nuclear family. And so Saint Valentine was allegedly marrying these people like illegally under the radar, so that they could get out of being enlisted in the military,
because it was against the law, right? Because the
yeah,
emperor wanted a bigger army, so he forbid men of a certain age to get married.
Yeah. So I think that Rome was at war, and he was trying to get more troops to his army, and he forbade the young men to get married so that they would be troops. And so Valentine was marrying these guys behind their back because they were going to go off to war anyway. So that's, and when he was found out, he was beheaded.
This is part of the problem, is there's a few different versions of the story. There's another one where Saint Valentine allegedly, after he was caught marrying couples, the jailer, like the man who was holding him captive, it was his job to hold him. There's a story that that man's daughter was blind, and Saint Valentine somehow healed her. And he was also corresponding with her, and he signed out of one of the letters, sincerely your Valentine.
Yes.
And that was something that kind of stuck. But then also that family then, as a result, converted to Christianity. So I guess the implication behind that story would be that at that point, the emperor wasn't into Christianity, and that was part of the reason why he was killed. Beheaded. In both versions, there were 2 Saint Valentines, apparently, historically, and both of them were actually beheaded for different reasons. And the other one doesn't have quite as exciting of a story, and I forget his deal, but there is the one. So Saint Valentine, according to Catholic Online, is the patron saint of affianced couples, beekeepers, and engaged couples. Did you know that, Mandy?
About the beekeepers?
No. I didn't know that about beekeepers either.
He was the patron saint of bees.
See, betrothed couples I knew about, but
yeah. So cool. Anywho, so this is all 3rd century when both of these dudes get executed for one reason or the other, and then their stories kind of get like blurred. It's not really clear like who is the Saint Valentine. But anyway, 5th century BC. The emperor or the pope, not sure which one, details, who needs them?
It's fine.
They are trying to get rid of these like ghastly pagan rituals, and so they say, all right, let's just go ahead and do like one night. Let's meet in the middle. Let's choose February 14th and put that on the calendar. We'll do this big fertility feast, and let's go ahead and, hey, this guy Saint Valentine, he was all about like the love, and let's make it in his honor. And so they marry into it, the festival part, like the whole, like all the partying, but they do convert it into this, it's one night, and we're going to say we're honoring Saint Valentine in the name of love, and we're going to go ahead and not do some of that other stuff. And that,
man, no more whipping girls in the square while naked.
Yeah. And so then, actually, in the 1960s, fast forward to the 1900s, the 20th century, the Pope actually removes it from the calendar as St. Valentine's Day because
that's right.
They decide, well, this isn't good for our street cred, that we can't really lock down the historical accuracy of this, and we're trying to like get a little more credibility to the Bible, so let's like not celebrate a guy who we're not even really sure who he was or what he did. So they actually the Catholic Church removed St. Valentine's Day from their official calendar of celebration, but it stayed in the mainstream and now is what we know it as today. And I would say that concludes my portion of the presentation, but it was a lot, wasn't it?
That was a lot, and it was so cool. Lupercalia!
Lupercalia.
Bring back Lupercalia!
I'm really in the right mood for this episode today. I really am.
Well, I wanted to touch on this Cupid character.
Yeah.
So Cupid is, we tend to think of as the fat little baby with wings who draws his arrow and shoots it, and then whoever is hit with it is struck with immediate love, right? Well, Cupid is the Roman equivalent of a god named Eros, and Eros is the son of Aphrodite, who is the goddess of, I don't know, what is she the goddess of? Like love, basically? Like she's like fertility, love,
Yeah,
I don't know.
So Athena was like knowledge and Venus was beauty. Like what? Yeah, who's who?
Yeah, Venus.
Aphrodite.
Well, I think Venus and Athena are they Roman or are they? No, they are Greek.
I don't
You're
really
right.
know.
So Aphrodite, she's the ancient Greek goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and procreation. And her son, she's known as Venus to the Romans, so they're the same person.
Oh, okay.
Her son is Eros in the Greek mythology, but Cupid in the Roman mythology. Now, this is important because I got a story that actually I think ties in because it includes those two characters. All right, ready, guys? I jazzed this one up to make the telling in my own words and hopefully a little bit fun. Okay. So here goes my story. It's actually based on a Greek tragedy. Once upon a time, there's this guy named Jason, and Jason is the son of a king named Aeson.
Jason and Aeson?
Yeah, I'm just now picking up on that. Aeson. How would you pronounce that, friends?
Yeah, Aeson. Like what?
A son, Aeson. Yeah. Jason and Aeson rhymes with Jason.
Wow. Okay then. All
But
right,
wait a
Jason
minute.
and
like,
his
what
dad
century
Aeson.
is this Jason from? Like they have Jason in their book
It's
of
a Greek
names?
name, evidently. I know, right? Like that's a weird name for a hero
Brock.
to have, but I'm just saying.
Rolling up with
Jason.
Brent.
Let's roll with it. Let's go.
So, Mike, the guy named Mike.
Well,
He's the hero
Michael
of our
was,
story.
that was there.
Oh yeah, that is an older one, huh? I guess all names, no matter how modern they sound, are probably pretty old.
Have some origin.
Yeah.
Jason doesn't sound right though.
No. So our bro Jason, he's
Mhm.
the son of a king named Aeson. I feel like I should break out into like a Will Smith, like Prince of Bel-Air. Like, I don't know. I know. I'm not good at freestyling, guys, but
No.
I feel like there is opportunity for that. Any listeners who are into freestyle raps. Anyway, Jason is the son of a king named Aeson, right? We've established that. Aeson has a half-brother named Peleus, and Peleus is kind of a dick. Peleus really wants to be the king, and he's like, fuck all y'all, I'm gonna do this thing. So he kills all of Aeson's descendants, right? Like all of his kids and grandkids and all of them, but for whatever reason is like, Aeson, you can live. That's cool. So Aeson lives, but he doesn't become a part of the story anymore, really. Now here's the thing, though. Aeson has a wife named Alcimede, or Alcimede, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And she's pregnant, and she decides, like, I'm not going to let my baby die just because Peleus is a dick and wants to be the king, right? So she convinces all of her little ladies in waiting to pretend like the baby is stillborn when he's born. Like, cluster around him in a big gaggle of women and just start crying and bawling like, oh my God, the baby's dead. It works. Alcimede is like ecstatic because her kid has lived, but he's still in danger because eventually at some point Peleus is going to figure out that Jason is still alive and he's going to kill this kid. So what does any woman do when they're in this situation? They got to protect their kid. I mean, I feel like the answer is pretty obvious. You send them away to be raised by a centaur named Chiron.
Right. Or a
Right?
wolf, or yeah.
Or something, right?
Yeah.
You let them just kind of
Find
float
their way
along on
in
a river
nature.
and right. So Jason's raised by this centaur named Chiron, and apparently that goes pretty well. And one day he's old enough to try to reclaim his throne, and he does that. So he's on his way to the city. I think it's Iolcus. I'm pretty sure it's an I. I think it's a capital I. Iolcus. So he's on his way to Iolcus. And he has to cross this river. And while he's on one side of the river, there's this random old woman who happens to be there. And she's like, I got to cross this river, but I'm too weak to do it by myself. Can you help me? And he's like, yeah, I guess. So he helps her cross the river. And of note in the story, everybody mentions it, he loses a sandal. Don't know why that matters so much, but it does. So he loses a sandal, and that was kind of a bummer. But it turns out that this random act of kindness paid off big time, because who was the old woman actually? She's actually the goddess Hera in disguise. And she's like, bro, you're such a good kid. I'm so happy that you saved me. I got your back. Don't worry. Things are going to work out well for you. So after this, Jason goes to Iolcus and he confronts his uncle, the Dick Peleus, and says, hey, I want my crown back. I want my kingdom back. And Peleus decides, under the influence of Hera, instead of just killing this kid, he's like, you know what? You can have your throne back, but first you got to go on this magical quest. And Jason's like, cool, I can do that. So the quest is he has to go get this golden fleece, which is apparently this legendary golden-haired fleece from a winged ram. And it exists and is guarded by, it exists in this city called Colchis and is guarded by a dragon there. Well, Colchis is a country ruled by this guy, King Aedes. And so Jason gathers up his motley crew of people, and they're called Argonauts because they are all sailing on this ship called the Argo. And there's like a couple of like big time stories that include like the adventures of all of the Argonauts, right? Well, Jason's adventure goes like this. He shows up in Colchis and he's like, yo, King Aedes, I need the golden fleece. I want to go recapture my crown. And this is what my dick uncle says I have to do in order to get my crown back. And Aedes is like, nah, bruh, I'm not cool with that. I need this fleece and you're just some rando. Like, what am I going to do here? And Aedes, again, under the influence of Hera, is like, oh, actually, you know what? You can have the fleece, but first you got to do these 3 impossible tasks. He has to like yoke these oxen that breathe fire, and then he has to sow the field that the oxen kind of, I don't know, they do the oxen-y things where they like sow the soil, they till the soil. He has to sow them with dragon's teeth, and then he has to defeat this whole army. And
One
Jason's
side quest
like,
begets another side quest,
yeah.
begets
Jason's
another.
like, dude, I can't do this. And he's like really bummed out. And then Hera's like, hey, because you helped me cross that river that one time, I got you, bro. So she talks to her friend, Aphrodite, who's actually like maybe her daughter, or at least like her stepdaughter, or maybe also a sister. I'm not really sure. You know, Greek mythology is weird. So she's like, Aphrodite, this guy Jason, he's pretty legit. I really like him because one time he helped me cross this river and he didn't have to do that. So I really want to help him with this thing so he can get this golden fleece so he can take back his crown. Can you help me? And Aphrodite's like, I mean, I guess. So she tasks her son, Eros, aka Cupid, to shoot this woman, Medea, with an arrow. Who is Medea? Medea is the daughter of King Aedes. She also happens to be an extremely powerful priestess in her own right. She's the granddaughter of the sun god Helios, and she is a priestess of the goddess Hecate. Hecate?
Wow.
So
Hecate.
Hecate. Thank you. She's also a priestess of the goddess Hecate. Medea is a big deal, and Aedes is her dad, right? So she gets shot with this arrow, manipulated by the gods to fall in love with this random dude, Jason. And she does because, bro, arrow. What are you going to do? You can't fight the arrow, right? So she meets him and it's love at first sight. She's in love with this guy, Jason. And Jason's like, hey, what's up, mama? Do you think you can help me? Like, do this thing? I got to do this because I got to get back my crown. And she like actually agonizes over it because she loves her family and she doesn't want to betray her family, but she also loves this random guy that she just met like 2 minutes ago. So she's like, shit, what do I do? She actually almost commits suicide because she's so upset about this choice that she has to like decide on. In the end, she decides, okay, I'm going to help him. So she uses some of her badass power and she creates this potion. I actually have the name of it. Hold on. The Charm of Prometheus, and gives it to Jason, and he's invincible. She also gives him some advice on how he can defeat these challenges. Well, he does. And King Aedes is like totally baffled. Like, how the hell did this guy do this? He shouldn't have been able to do this, but he does. And she has like this nightmare that night that like, hey, Aedes is onto you. You gotta bail. So she runs and she finds Jason and she's like, Jason, we gotta go. And he's like, well, but first we gotta get this fleece. So they go, they grab the fleece together, and then they sail away. Well, Aedes is pissed. He sends her brother after them. They're chasing them down and she's trying to escape. But the brother is actually kind of a pretty big deal himself. So they have to solve this problem. They solve it by committing murder. They
Great.
kill her brother together. And so now she's guilty of this like family murder, right? And things happen. Eventually they get married. I'm glossing over a ton of stuff. Ton of stuff happens. But eventually they get married after she kills her brother with this guy that she just met, right? And then they get married. And it seems like they're pretty happy. They actually have a life together. They have multiple kids together. It seems like they're together for at least a decade, I think. But Jason still hasn't taken back his crown for some reason. And I don't really know the reason because I didn't read all of these Greek epics because who's got time for that? But Jason has this opportunity that arises. There's this other random king who has this daughter, and if he marries this girl, then he'll get to be the crown prince of this country, and then he will have the royalty that he's been wanting all along. He gets to be the king of this other country. And he's like, I really want that. Like, I'm still after this. I want a country of my own. So he decides, yep, I'm going to marry this other chick. And his whole plan is he's going to marry this chick. She'll be his actual wife, and her kids will be the heirs to the throne of this country. He'll keep Medea as his mistress, and then her kids can live happy too because, they won't be royalty, but, they'll get to live and they'll have all kinds of money and stuff. And, like, why wouldn't she be chill with that? Medea's obviously not chill with that. She's like, no, you motherfucker. I killed my brother for you. I betrayed my family for you. Are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, just be cool. It's going to be fine. And he goes off to marry this woman. And she's pissed. But she's like, okay, I got this. She's, again, a very powerful sorceress. So she enchants this crown and some kind of golden dress. I don't really know what it all is. As a gift to this woman. Like, hey, all's cool. Here's a golden dress. Here's a golden crown. You're going to love this. What it is enchanted with is this poison potion that it's going to kill the girl and also anybody who touches her. So she loves the crown, loves the dress, immediately puts it on, dies. Her father is like racked with grief, just like in the wrong place at the wrong time, and collects her and is like holding her and is crying over her. He dies. And Jason is like in big time trouble and royally pissed. And Medea's in big time trouble because she's just killed, a king and his daughter. It's a big deal. So Medea's still super mad though. Like, she's still really pissed off. And I guess all along, Jason has been calling the children her kids. He's never claimed them as his. Like, hey, your kid's this and your kid's that.
Oh, no, he didn't.
And she's like, well, fuck you, guy. They don't mean anything to you anyway. So she's like debating whether or not she should kill these kids. She kind of like has a crisis of faith and decides, no, I really love these kids. I'm not going to kill them. And then at some point it ends up being like they're going to die anyway. So then she does kill them. So she murders the kids. And then suddenly Jason cares about them. And I can't believe you murdered my children.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I know. Right. So he's really upset. He can't believe it. He comes after her like, I'm going to get you. You're in trouble. And she's like, no, motherfucker, you're in trouble. I murdered all of these people for you. I helped you with these trials. I was faithful to you. I betrayed my own family. And you couldn't just be faithful to me. You are an oath breaker. You are the one who's going to be cursed. And you are the one who's not going to achieve any of the things that you want to achieve. And then she escapes in this golden chariot, which is, I guess, the property of her grandfather Helios. Remember, because she's actually like a demigod. Mm. And she flies away, and actually she lives her life, and she just sort of exists, and she shows up again in some other stories and tales. Jason, on the other hand, is actually kind of in trouble. Hera is like the patron goddess of families and family ties and familial oaths. And she's like super pissed that he did this thing and he was going to betray Medea this way and marry this princess, and is in fact an oath breaker. And so she doesn't have his back anymore. Like, I guess helping her cross that river that one time is not quite enough in the face of betraying what she stands for. And so he dies. He falls asleep on the bank of some ocean. And this ship, I think it was the Argo, the one that carried them around, is like decrepit and rotting and not in really good shape. It like like a piece of the boat falls on him and crushes him, and then he dies. The
Ouch.
end. So there you go, lovers.
The end. Yeah.
That was my love
Damn.
story. The gods
What a
intervened.
satisfying and fulfilling ending.
I just feel like, on the one hand, I feel so bad for Medea because, like, she didn't even choose to fall in love with this guy. She didn't have a chance. She never had a chance. She was just a pawn in the schemes of other people.
She was beguiled by a narcissist.
Yeah.
Total
She was
narcissist,
shot-
dude.
Wow.
She really was. But, like, with the killing of the children, that sucks. And I don't know. So, like, on the one hand, I feel sad for her. On the other hand, she very much reminds me of some of the other examples that we've told of sirens. You know, a lot of times, like La Llorona, like all of these women, they are jilted women who take their revenge out on their men by killing the children. And it really struck a chord with me. That was initially why I decided to check into this story, was because, oh shit, like this is another quote unquote siren. This is another woman who's killed her kids. But it's actually a lot more complicated than that, and pretty interesting. And I actually, in the reading of this, decided I really want us to do an episode on Hecate. She shows up a lot, and I don't really know very much about her. So someday. Anyway, what did you guys think? You're right, narcissist, JT.
That was riveting.
That was
Fucking ridiculous. I hope that my storytelling was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
good.
It was a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You helped modernize it.
That was fun.
You made it tough.
You know, I have another heartbreaking legend, and it's another white lady.
Oh my god.
This is the White Lady of Lafayette Square in New Orleans. And this is a classic, chilling legend that perfectly captures the city's blend of romance, tragedy, and the supernatural. And since we're talking about romances and things, this is mid-1800s. A beautiful young Creole woman, often described as from a prominent family, fell deeply in love with a dashing suitor. Their romance was passionate but forbidden, perhaps due to class differences, family disapproval, or the chaos of wartime. They planned to elope under the cover of night, meeting secretly in the shadows of Lafayette Square, where the gas lamps flickered and the square's fountain whispered. On the fateful evening, she arrived in her flowing white gown. Some say it was her wedding dress prepared in secret.
Bum, bum, bum.
Heart racing with hope, she waited by the statue of Andrew Jackson. The hours ticked by as the fog rolled in from the Mississippi, but her lover never came. Whispers say he was killed in a duel over her honor, died in battle, or simply abandoned her for another life. Devastated, she either wandered off in despair and perished, perhaps from exposure or a broken heart, or, in the darker tellings, took her own life there in the square. From that night on, her spirit became the woman in white, or White Lady, of Lafayette Square. She's said to appear on misty evenings, especially around twilight or during the humid summer nights when the city feels most alive with the past. Witnesses describe her as this ethereal figure in a long, pale gown, drifting slowly across the paths, her face pale and sorrowful, eyes scanning the benches and shadows as if still waiting for him. Some report heart-faint sobs carried on the breeze, or feeling an overwhelming wave of sadness that makes even the most skeptical visitor pause.
That is really sad. To be
That's
jilted like that and then be stuck in that emotional state for freaking ever. That sucks.
Yeah. I have another one that I want to tell.
Okay.
It reminds me just a little bit of who was that guy? Oh, that that Revolutionary War ghost who's stuck, always thinking about
Aaron Burr and Hamilton.
Hamilton. Fucking Hamilton. It does. Like, that
Yeah.
sucks to, like, spend like, that is a version of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To spend eternity stuck in that emotional state, never able to move on.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Anyway, sorry,
similar story. We begin in the Longleat, England, which is the home to the ghostly apparition known as the Green Lady.
Oh.
She is believed to be that of Lady Louisa Carteret, the Viscountess of Weymouth. She died tragically, giving birth on Christmas Day in 1736, just aged 22.
Oh.
So the local legend tells us that she had an affair with one of the household servants.
Ooh.
Yeah, a footman. And when this was discovered, her husband...
Girl, not even a butler, a footman?
A footman. The Viscount
Jeez.
arranged for that man to be killed by having him thrown from a staircase. And his body was buried secretly within the house or grounds. Lady Louisa never recovered from this disappearance and believed her husband was responsible and was holding him prisoner somewhere on the property. The loss and her highly emotional state clearly playing a part in her young death. She was engaged in nightly searches, trying to find him, and on one occasion, catching a chill, which developed into pneumonia, an illness she would succumb to while giving birth. She's been seen gliding through the rooms and hallways of the Longleat, wearing a flowing green dress. Even today, she's heard banging on doors within the property. Maybe she's still searching for that man she had loved and lost. There's evidence that the death of the footman may have been by her husband. There's a story that appears in 1915, 180 years after her death. It had become necessary to undertake some renovations. Floors were needing to be lowered to accommodate pipes and a boiler. And while they were doing the work, the remains of an unidentified man were discovered beneath the staircase within the house.
No way.
Oh my God.
He
Oh my
appeared to be
gosh.
wearing the remains of jackboots and fragments of a uniform fitting that of the footman from that period. Perhaps this was her lost lover that she continues to search for to this day.
Oh, how would that
That's
have,
so
like,
sad.
how would that have ended up happening though? Like, in what scenario? Somebody like kills him and like tosses him under the stairs. They say, I don't.
Mhm.
Did I miss something?
Well, they say the story says that he was reportedly killed by the husband by throwing him off the stairs,
Gotcha.
and burying him in the floor of the house.
I see. Oh, okay.
And so 180 years later, when they were doing renovations, they found his corpse under the stairs.
I mean, there's crawl spaces underneath stairwells often. So what if he like shoved him into a tiny little crawl space and then like boarded it over?
Yeah.
Just mudded.
Yeah. Instead of under the
Sealed it
floor,
all in.
quite literally, still in the house. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yikes.
Wow. That is
Dude.
chilling.
I believe it.
Wow. That's,
I
aw.
think that probably really happened. Poor woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For reals.
Oh.
So these are not happy Valentine's Day stories. Sorry.
No. This is the perfect Valentine's episode for people who are not in a relationship. Hey guys, congratulations.
Disclaimer at the beginning.
You are free from this garbage.
Yeah.
You did it. You win.
You are going to do whatever the hell you want on Valentine's
Not
Day.
be manipulated.
Listen to this podcast and have some ice cream and, you know.
Little glass of wine just to make yourself feel good. Maybe a bubble bath. Friends,
It's up
look,
to you.
this is the proof. You don't need a relationship.
No.
It's up
Nope.
to you.
I could put a link in the notes description of my wife's favorite vibrator if anybody's interested.
Oh my God, Mandy happened to be drinking from a cup right when that happened.
How do you think I said that right when she was doing it? I saw her pick up the glass.
I almost it. God damn you.
That was cruel.
That was awesome, JP. Well done. I can't even be mad. I was a little mad, but not very mad. I'm over it.
Oh man.
I
happened
peed
here?
myself a little bit, guys.
Oh.
Oh,
boy.
shit. Check your text messages, Abby.
Oh, okay. Oh boy. Let me see. What do we have here? Oh, it's so like minimalist. I
Mhm.
like it. Mimi. Does she call it Mimi?
No.
Does it have a name?
No.
It says Mimi clitoral vibrator.
Mm-hmm.
With rumbly vibes.
Exactly. The rumbly vibes. It's a
I mean,
good
we already
one.
established we're not family friendly, so I say let's do it.
Yeah, no, yeah. We've the
Put the
disclaimer's
link in
there.
the thing.
I've
why I
there's
said it.
actually an option to mark explicit from
Maybe
Buzzsprout.
we can
so
get
I've
a
just been
sponsorship.
clicking that.
What'd you say, JT?
Maybe we can get a sponsorship.
Hey. Hey. I love it.
Tested and approved.
All
By
right.
JT's wife.
Yep.
All right.
So
Does she want this?
that was
I
a
just
good
gotta ask
segue.
because I want to leave it in the episode. Is she gonna be cool with all your friends and family
Oh, yeah.
hearing this?
For sure.
Okay.
She didn't
All right. I know that she tells people a lot of
Oh, she
things.
doesn't care.
Okay.
My dad doesn't listen anymore, so I'm good.
That's the only one you're worried about?
That's the only one I'm worried about. He's way too Mormon to listen, so. Nope.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
The Mormon. Oh, so many of your guys' family are Mormon.
Yep.
And they listen.
Yep.
I love it. Okay. The link is going in. Whew. This is
Okay.
the best episode.
Mandy has some stories. Get to your stories.
I had kind of just one. So this is another lady in white.
Sweet.
And it's so sad. It's always some bullshit kind of thing. So this is the Lady in White of Chatham Manor, Virginia. This is a famous ghost story about an English girl sent to the manor to prevent her romance with a lower class man. But she vows to return after being sent back to England, appearing as a spectral figure in white on the anniversary of her death, June 21st, to walk a path to the river, searching for her lost love. So it starts. The legend begins. An English nobleman sent his daughter to Chatham Manor to break up her affair with a poor man. The lovers planned to elope, with the man waiting by the river, but George Washington, who happened to be a guest in the manor at that time, discovered the plan through a servant and had the suitor arrested.
Whoa.
The girl was then sent back to England, where she was forced to marry someone of higher social standing, but never actually forgot her true love. On her deathbed in 1790, she vowed that she would return to Chatham, the only place that she was ever truly happy. And she apparently appeared as a glowing figure in a colonial white gown on June 21st, which was the anniversary of her death. According to reports, her apparition is seen walking from the manor to the river, a path now known as the Ghost Walk. And she's often seen, and many assume, looking for her lover. The very first time that she was sighted, the very first sighting was actually the day of her death, June 21st, 1790. And she's said to reappear about every 7 years, although the sightings are inconsistent. Yeah, that's the whole story.
Oh.
Sad.
I came across that story. Various
it's
lady
a
ghosts.
It was Lady in White, man. It's sad. I just think that's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Cares?
that's the funny thing about Valentine's Day is it really is kind of the origins are in tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, unless we want to talk about the actual pagan origins, which are, yay, we survived another winter. Now let's have sex and make babies.
Yay!
You know?
well,
Good reason to have sex.
fertility celebrations were not always about having babies. They were about having fertile crops.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's true.
So-
oh, you got me there. How
Yeah.
astute.
Yeah, but We don't have those type of fertility celebrations anymore in this world, in this time.
I remembered something about psychopomp, and that was that Freya supposedly lost her. This isn't going to be about Freya, but basically, I decided to go back and I was like, "Oh, what was that thing about Freya?" And I found a different story that caught my attention, and I was like,
well, all right
well,
then. ADHD in action.
Yep. Okay. So Voland. How is the O with the 2 dots?
Vuland.
Vuland.
Yeah.
Vuland and the Valkyrs. So I just wasn't sure if that was different across different languages or if that's just what it is. So
I think it just represents the sound.
Yeah. Okay. So Vuland and the Valkyrs is this tiny little short, I don't know, Edda. There they stayed 7 winters through, but all the 8th were with longing seized, and in the 9th fate parted them. The maidens yearned for the murky wood, the young Alvit fate to fulfill. So there's this poem, which just with that, you don't get, I don't understand how the story is tied to it, but that's how this story starts, okay? So here we go. The Valkyrs were supposed to take frequent flights to Earth in swan plumage, which they would then throw off sometimes when they'd get to like a water source and they'd like bathe and frolic and whatever. And if people could manage to get their hands on that plumage, it would prevent them from leaving the Earth. And, you know, whatever their intentions may be, they might even be able to force the proud maidens to mate with them, if such were his pleasure.
Ew.
And so just such a story happens. 3 Valkyrs, Olrun, Alvit, and Svanvit, were once sporting in the waters when suddenly the 3 brothers, Egil, Slagfin, and Voland, or Wayland the Smith, came upon them. And securing their swan plumage, the young men forced them to remain upon Earth and become their wives. So detained, they remained with their husbands for many years, 9 years specifically. At the end of that time, recovering their plumage or the spell being broken in some way or another, they effected their escape. So one of them, though, Voland, is just like so distraught at the absence of his wife that he goes on a journey to try to find her and become reunited with her. And in the process, he ends up being captured by some guy. So Voland, remember, it did say he was Wayland the Smith. So he is a very talented weaponsmith, and it said that he actually made a really beautiful ring for his wife, and she left it behind. And he went down some obsessive tangent and made like 700 of these rings. And anyway, so he gets taken prisoner by Nidud, the king of Sweden. And he steals his choice weapon, which was invested with magic powers. And he basically puts the guy into like slave labor, keep making me all these magical weapons, tra-la-la. Then eventually Voland manages to swap out the magic sword that the king stole from him in the first place by creating an exact replica. When the king brings in his to get it repaired, he swaps it out for the replica. Now he has back his sword that bestows upon him all this power. He kills the king's like sons and daughters and etc. And then manages to he had fashioned himself, he had smithed himself a set of wings, much like his wife's.
Oh.
And he manages to, fly up and away and like kind of perch himself and mock the king a little bit and tell the king like, hey, by the way, sucker, I killed your children and like I'm getting out of here now. Well, the king has one more like wild card up his sleeve. So the king, beside himself with rage, summoned Egil, Volund's brother, who had also fallen into his power, and bade him use his marvelous skill as an archer to bring down the impudent bird. Well, somehow Voland and Egil had been in
You'll be
cahoots
punished
with
for
each
your
other.
impudence.
Yeah, somehow they'd already like managed to communicate with each other and were in cahoots, and he had like a bladder of like fake blood just so under his wing, and so the brother like took aim and fake hit him in this little bladder, and it looked like he was bleeding and had like successfully hit him, and then he like got to fly away, and he made it to Alfheim, where, if legend is to believe, he found his beloved wife and lived happily again with her until the twilight of the gods.
Nah, I don't like that.
No, fuck him.
Fuck that.
No,
Fuck that guy.
She
No, he
escaped
didn't.
you.
She fucking left your bullshit ring.
She escaped
She said, fuck you and your jewelry. You've been raping me for 9 years, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be here. You tricked yourself into thinking I was in love with you, but I never was. Nope. Don't like
I
that.
thought it was so sweet. Poor guy wanting his wife back and
Happily ever
gets to
after.
live happily ever after with his true love.
Maybe his exploits like proved to her how much he really did love her, and that he was willing to go through all of this to be with her.
No,
And she
don't
was
switch
like,
your
well,
position.
She was
Be
like,
like
all
Andy
right.
and be like, fuck you, you
You
bitch.
know, I'm always playing devil's advocate.
Dill hole.
Nah.
Well, you know, and then there's what's that called? The something
Stockholm syndrome?
Yep, Stockholm syndrome.
Mm.
Maybe he proved himself to her. Maybe he got to Alfheim and they just, you know, were like, no, flick, and like he fell down to the earth and died, and you know,
Maybe they got to Alfheim and she was like,
Well,
fuck you,
the
and then
Valkyries
like
were-
stabbed him.
They're
And
pretty-
then he died, and then other dudes were like, nah,
He made
this
it.
isn't realistic.
He's
She
with her.
totally was into him. Nah, we need to rewrite the ending, because that's what I think happened. I think
Probably.
it ended badly for him, and then the rest of the world, who was
Yeah.
run by men, was like, no.
Yeah,
Unacceptable.
We're gonna see it how we want to see it in our rose-colored glasses. She
JT's
swooned for
face.
him. Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
Men,
Anywho,
they're such
sorry
bastards.
guys.
I know.
Didn't mean to get so feminine in here. Not feminine, feminist.
Feminist.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we're allowed. Nah.
I thought it was
That
hilarious.
dude,
Fuck
Oh,
that
God.
guy.
that dude coerced her and made her stuck with him for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Did they have any children?
Yes. It doesn't say. It just says that they, you know, after 9 years, they
Hey.
managed to escape somehow, and they took that goddamn opportunity and ran.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh,
Good on him
Yep.
for keeping the hot babe around for 9 years, you know?
Yeah. I love how the story just
Because
like
Valkyries
glazes
are
over that.
hot.
yeah.
I guess it's
Well, it reminds me of like the Silky legends, where men would take. I think we told it. It was another Siren's story, I think, where women who were these magical creatures, they looked like seals in the water, but they could remove their pelts,
Oh.
and they looked very beautiful. They were gorgeous human women without their pelts. Well, a man, if he caught her unawares, could steal her pelt from her and basically coerce her into marriage. Like, if you want your pelt back, you're going to be my wife, right? And then, like, a lot of times those women did have kids. Like, in the legends, there are descendants of Selkies who exist to this day
Oh, wow.
because those women were forced to have these children. And the men thinking, I baby trapped your ass. You love these kids. You're never going back.
Mm.
Get a little bit relaxed and don't guard the pelt as well. And the women are like, yeah, I love my kid, but fuck you. And then they continue to have like a relationship with their kids, even as they're kind of in the ocean. It's just seasonal. And I think our hypothesis was that these men were actually murdering these women
No.
and just telling their kids that they up and left you
Mm.
because she was actually
Ah.
just a Selkie,
Wow.
which is,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm.
I don't know.
That
So,
computes.
yeah. Anyway, yay, Valentine's Day! How about that?
Yes.
Awesome.
Valentine's
No
Day.
chocolate and roses here.
Mhm. Be mine.
This is the best Valentine's Day episode.
Our hearts are
ever-
split open and bleeding.
I mean, it's so funny that we're all pretty happy in our relationships, and this is what we came up with.
It's you don't get this far into a relationship without being extremely realistic and shedding all of that fluffy nonsense and understanding that it's
It's the real world out there,
yes, right. There is give and take and compromise and hard times and good times, and it's not Valentine's Day.
man. Nope.
Nope.
It's the worst. Valentine's Day is a terrible, terrible, terrible season. I don't even like it that I have to do cards for my kids. This is so garbage.
My husband had to
Anyway.
remind me recently that he proposed to me on Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
we were in a
I don't think
really
you've
bad
ever told
time
me
in our
that.
relationship, and he was trying to turn things around, and so he got really romantical and proposed to me. And for me, at that point in time, it was about the piece of paper because we were doing things all backwards and had children. And I was like, great, thank you. Finally, you fucker. So the details of it were kind of lost on me, but he has recently reminded me, and I was like, oh, that actually was really cute. Thanks for
I
doing
remember
that.
he involved the kids and the dogs, and yeah, it
Yes.
was actually really elaborate.
I love
It
how
was
you
very
remember.
Valentine's-esque.
He did, yeah. He made it. It was a really romantic gesture. It was very sweet.
Nice.
He's
Yeah.
like, hey, remember these like last 10 years when I didn't put a ring on it?
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna make it all worth it
Yeah.
right now.
And here we are, 10 years later. I'm like, okay, we're cool.
Put a ring.
We love you,
Put
Steve.
a ring on it.
I'm pretty sure
Sorry,
he's
I had to-
listening. He
I had
just
to
like
do that.
passed through.
You don't have a ring? Did you ever have a ring, JT?
Yeah, I had a ring. I had Rachel's dad's ring, but I didn't wear it because I'm allergic to metal.
Oh,
It
that's
like
rough.
creates like my skin starts to ooze clear liquid,
Ew.
and so I
Gross.
just it starts to
They
hurt.
have
and I
those
just don't
like
it.
other, like, are they silicone? For men,
No,
so that you don't
even
get
that.
Oh,
Even
really?
that, yeah, makes my finger turn cold, and I can't do it.
Wow.
No jewelry
what a
for me.
curious reaction.
Damn, son.
I can do an earring.
That's
I had
weird.
my
It's
ear
you
pierced
wanna know
once
what?
upon a time, but
I have a
That
ring
doesn't even
I
make
don't
any
wear mine
sense,
either.
I
JT.
know.
That doesn't make any sense,
I don't know.
JT. How could you be allergic to metal on one part of your body but not the other?
I don't know.
It's psychosomatic.
Whatever.
Nope.
I just
That's
don't.
weird.
Sensory problems.
I don't.
in
I
his
don't
hand.
need. I don't need a ring to remind me of anything.
No, yeah.
That's true.
Totes.
It's true. Fuck that jewelry.
Yep.
Although we love jewelry, so it's fine. I was just thinking of that poor Valkyrie. who-
Yeah.
He's like, here's this ring, baby.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
love
And she was like,
you.
no. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been maybe one of our best episodes ever.
Yeah.
I think it's going to turn out really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's, listeners. With and without a relationship, I hope that you are very happy and fulfilled. And, if this episode has taught any of us anything, is that you don't need a relationship. Relationships often lead in misery, so don't worry about it if you're not in one.
Eternal misery.
Eternal misery.
Check out the link to the Vibrator.
shoot.
You will love it.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, that
Okay.
was perfect.
Perfect ending. Hold on. What is the next episode? I can't remember,
Full
guys.
moons. Yes. It's in honor of my birthday. It's around the time of my birthday, and so we're gonna have me host that episode, and I want to do an episode about the moons because I don't know any of that stuff, and I think that would be cool. I want it like the occult meaning and what do you do? What's the magic? Like, let's do some like witchy. Let's do a witchy episode about the moons.
Yep. So when she means the moons, like
Yeah.
when we talk about like
Wolf moon and whatever the,
wolf
heck the different
moon
names
and
are.
Blood
yeah.
moon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
All of
yes.
those.
Super moon, new moon, blah blah blah.
Mm.
All of
Okay.
the things.
very good. So stay tuned for that. That is in proximity to Abby's birthday, so know that she'll be turning a certain age around that time. And I think that's it. So with that, it is time to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good night.
So long,
Goodbye.
farewell.
Auf
Happy to say
Wiedersehen.
goodbye.
Good night. Yeah. I don't even know. I think we've really butchered
Oh,
that, but
totally.
It was fun. Okay. This has been another episode of
The
Wandering
Wandering
Crow.
Crow.
I feel like we may as well have been drunk for that one. That was fun.
I'm hitting